Levitical Priesthood Series Part 1. What happened to the Levitical priesthood? Why rabbis aren't priests. For hundreds of years, Israel had a clear command from God. Only the sons of Levi, specifically from the line of Aaron, could serve as priests. That was the deal under the law of Moses. They were the ones who handled sacrifices, temple duties, and the spiritual leadership of the people. No other tribe had that right. But by the time Jesus arrived, something had quietly changed. Now you had Pharisees, Sadducees, and rabbis, spiritual leaders claiming authority over the people. But most of them weren't Levites. Many weren't priests at all. So how did that happen? After Israel was taken into Babylonian captivity, the temple system was broken. When they returned and rebuilt under Ezra and Nehemiah, the priesthood resumed. But something shifted over time. In the absence of prophets and kings, scribes and teachers of the law began rising in influence. They became the Pharisees and Sadducees we read about in the New Testament. But here's the problem. They created new structures of power, man-made religious roles that God never ordained. And though the Levites were still around, they were no longer the only voice. Now you had a religious system with political power, sectarian influence, and oral traditions that overshadowed the written word of God. By Jesus' day, the spiritual leadership of Israel was in the hands of men who sat in Moses' seat, but weren't following Moses' law. Then in 70 AD, Rome destroyed Jerusalem. The temple was wiped out. The genealogical records were burned. And the priesthood? Gone. From that point forward, Judaism became something new. Rabbinic Judaism, run not by Levites but by scholars and teachers. Rabbis, but here's the twist, there's no command in the Bible to be a rabbi. There's no such office in the law of Moses, and now nobody can prove they're from Levi. Nobody can step into the temple and offer sacrifices like before, because the entire system was dismantled by God's design. Why? Because the real high priest had already come, not from Levi, but from Judah, Jesus Christ. Hebrews 7 tells us that the priesthood had to change, because the old covenant was being replaced by a better one, a sinless priest, an eternal priest, a priest who didn't offer lambs, he offered himself. So what happened to the Levitical priesthood? It was fulfilled, then removed. And any system trying to resurrect it now is just trying to rebuild what God already replaced with something better.